Begin this half hour with the latest on the American couple allegedly attacked by Mexican pirates as they jet skied on a Texas border lake. Tiffany Hartley's husband was shot and killed. We're going to talk to her in a moment. But first, here's NBC's Janet Shamlian.
They knew each other since high school and had a passion for adventure. But 29-year-old Tiffany Hartley and her 30-year-old husband David could never have imagined how a sightseeing trip on jet skis would change their lives forever. Last Thursday, the couple ventured out onto the Falcon Lake Reservoir in South Texas, headed to photograph an old, partially submerged church in a Mexican ghost town.
They were about 5 minutes away from that place, coming back towards the United States when they were accosted by this individual in his boats.
Did you see anybody? There were three boats, and they came back looking at me.
3 boats and a barrage of bullets. David was shot in the back of the head. And then the ultimate agony. As the ambush continued, Tiffany was forced to abandon her dying husband in a desperate bid to save her own life. She finally reached shore, describing sheer terror in her call to 911.
Are you sure that your husband got shot? Yes, he was hit in his head. Okay, was he thrown out of the jet ski, that he's in the water or something? He was thrown off the jet ski and I couldn't take him out to get him on mine.
An impossible choice for Tiffany, leaving behind the body of the man she calls the love of her life.
Bullets came real close to hitting her, landing on the water. She was seeing where they were landing on the water, but she was not hit.
The Falcon Lake Reservoir is a unique body of water. The U.S.-Mexico border runs right through the middle of it. Tiffany admits they were on the Mexican side, where gun-toting pirates have become more brazen in their attacks. David's body hasn't been found because Texas authorities don't have jurisdiction on Mexico's side of the lake.
I'd like to be able to go out there and try to retrieve that body. Obviously, the way things are now on the border, we would need to be very well armed to protect ourselves.
For a couple married 8 years, it seems sadly ironic now. Tiffany says her goal with David was to live life to the fullest and to live without fear. For today, Janet Shamlian, NBC News, Houston.
Tiffany Hartley is with us now, along with David's parents, Dennis and Pam Hartley, and his sister, Nikki. Good morning to all of you, and please accept my condolences. I'm so sorry for your loss.
Good morning. Thank you.
Tiffany, if I could start with you, can you take us back to last week when you went jet skiing with your husband, David? And what brought you to Falcon Lake? Why did you guys decide to go out there?
My husband had been doing some research on that old church in Mexico, the old Guerrero, and he loved history, and he wanted to go see it before we headed back to Colorado the following week.
In May, I know that the Texas Department of Public Safety had reported several incidents involving pirates robbing boaters at gunpoint. In fact, there was a pirate sighting as recently as August 31st, I believe. And they had warned Americans about the lake. If you're going to go out there, whatever you do, don't cross over into the Mexican side. I understand that you and David had even talked about the risks. So why did you ignore the danger involved there?
We hadn't heard anything for quite a while. My husband, being a manager of his the company down in Reynosa, Mexico, he had to take care of them and make sure they were safe and make sure I was safe. And I know he would never, ever put me in a position of danger. And we hadn't heard anything of anything going on over there. We had heard about the pirates, but we didn't know. You know, we just hadn't heard anything recently.
So at what point did you realize that you were both in terrible danger?
Once we started seeing that the 3 boats were coming towards us, and then they started chasing us, and then we just started hearing the fires, the gunfire.
And then your husband was shot, and you were faced with an agonizing decision. You either went back and tried to save him or saved your own life or attempted to save your own life. Can you tell us about that moment for you?
When I looked back to, after I had seen some bullets hit the water next to me, I looked back to check on David, and I saw him fly over the jet ski. He had been hit. I quickly turned around and went to him and jumped off my jet ski. And I had to turn him over because he was face down in the water, and turned him over and he was shot in the head. And that's when a boat came up. One of the boats came up to me and had a gun pointed at me, trying to decide what to do with me, and then they left. And that's when I tried saving David and getting him onto my jet ski. But I couldn't get him up. And I just kept hearing God tell me, you have to go, you have to go. So I had to leave him so I could get to safety.
And I know this is heartbreaking for you now because they have not recovered your husband's body or your son's body, Dennis and Pam. How are you coping?
We're hanging in there. We've had a lot of support from friends here and everywhere. David's friends in Colorado are planning a rally to bring David home. That is this Friday in Denver, Colorado at the Mexican consulate at 1:00 p.m.
Do you feel the Mexican authorities are doing all they can to find David's body?
No.
No.
We
Not
need
at
to
all.
desperately get on the Mexican side of the lake so we can search for him and bring him home. It's like, please, everybody, call your Congress, call anybody that you can to have them get us over there. He has to come home. President Obama, help us. President of Mexico, help us, please. And our plea to the general public, this is not something that there's a textbook on to know what we're supposed to do. We've been doing what we've been directed to do by everybody, and I don't feel we've been provided the right information to make stuff work, and that's why we're pleading to everybody now. Anybody that can help to let us know and to support us and to rally together so we can get him back home so we can have peace and closure on this, and so this never happens to anybody else.
And now, Tiffany, the Mexican authorities are speaking with the South Texas newspaper and questioning your story. They said they found no evidence of this attack or of your husband's remains, saying, quote, "We are not certain that this incident happened the way that they are telling us." I want to give you a chance to respond to that.
Well, I would have to say that, you know, when they know the pirates are out there, we knew that. We knew that there's a possibility of them being there. I believe in my heart that they went back and took him, and they're hiding our jet ski, they're hiding him, and we just plead that we get him back. And when you're looking at the end of a barrel of a gun and wondering if they're just going to shoot you too, and wonder if your families are just going to never know where you are. I mean, his mom knew we were there, but it's not anything for David not to call her for a few days. But they're not doing what they need to do to get in that water and find him. They're not getting in the water. They don't have people on the ground. They don't have people looking for him. And that's why we're pleading that, please,
They're not
bring
searching.
him back.
How are they going to find him? They can't prove it if they don't look.
Tiffany, Dennis, Pam, and Nikki Hartley, thank you so much. Our thoughts and prayers are with all of you.
Thank you.
Thank you.